Imagine this, it's the mid-1800s, you're a soldier in the Crimean War, you're cold, injured, and desperately hoping for a friendly face to appear over the horizon. If you're lucky, that friendly face might just be Mary Seacole, a Jamaican-Scottish healer with an iron will, a warm heart, and apparently a bit of a knack for battlefield snacks. Mary Seacole, born Mary Jane Grant in Jamaica in 1805, learned about medicine from her mother, a practitioner of traditional herbal remedies. This was back when medicine was a curious mix of plants, poultices, and let's hope this works. With Jamaican and African roots, her mother wasn't allowed to practice in the mainstream medical field. Instead, she treated everyone else, from high-ranking officers to local families, passing that knowledge down to young Mary. In 1854, Mary heard about the outbreak of the Crimean War and the horrific conditions the soldiers were facing. Her goal? Get herself to the front lines to help. So she heads to England, determined to volunteer, but she's met with no thank you, sorry, full, and possibly a few absolutely nots from the British War Office and Florence Nightingale's team. Let's just say they weren't thrilled by the idea of a motherly yellow woman, as Mary called herself, offering her nursing services. Did she let that stop her? Not a chance. Using her own funds, Mary takes a long and arduous journey to the Crimea with a business partner, all to set up what she would call the British Hotel. Now, don't let the name fool you, it wasn't exactly the Ritz. This was more of a cosy canteen for soldiers to get warm meals, medical care, and a taste of home. But Mary wasn't just a cook, she provided frontline medical care, sometimes as close to a few hundred yards from active battlefields. She treated wounds, distributed herbal remedies, and became such a familiar presence that soldiers affectionately called her Mother Seacole. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Mary's skills didn't just end with medicine. Mary also knew that keeping up soldiers' spirits mattered, so she supplied food and even served wine. Yes, a battlefield wine service was apparently a thing, something I could get behind. And when battles ended, she'd treat the wounded right there on the field, often standing out in her bright, memorable outfits that rivaled the British flags. Now, let's talk about the British Hotel itself. This wasn't a typical hotel with soft beds and room service. Mary's British Hotel was built from sheer determination, and just about any scrap metal she could get her hands on. Picture this, salvaged driftwood, packing cases, sheets of iron, and even some old glass doors and window frames she picked up in the nearby village of Crimea. With the help of local labourers, she turned this unlikely collection of materials into a rough and ready shelter for British soldiers. This hotel wasn't meant for comfort exactly. It was a place where soldiers could rest, get warm, and most importantly, enjoy some home-cooked meals. Mary herself would roll up her sleeves, sometimes quite literally, to cook meals that reminded soldiers of home. She served up everything from hearty stews to pies and kept her makeshift kitchen stocked up with essentials that soldiers sorely missed. It wasn't just about the food though. This was Mary's way of bringing a sense of normalcy and home comfort to the chaos of war. But that's only half the story. Mary's courage went beyond cooking. She would venture close to battle lines, carrying supplies, tending to the injured, and even, wait for it, tending to spectators. Yeah, that's right, she served wine and sandwiches to those who came to watch the battles, because that was apparently a thing back then. Yet when it came to tending the soldiers, she didn't hold back. With her nursing skills, she stitched wounds, administered herbal remedies, and would often put herself in harm's way to ensure they had the care they needed. Now, Mary Seacole didn't just have a knack for medicine, she had a knack for making the most of every situation. During the Fall of Sevastopol in 1855, she did something not many women of her time would have dared. She marched right into the city after it fell and became the first British woman to set foot there. Now let's just say she wasn't leaving empty-handed. Mary took a few mementos with her, including a church bell, an altar candle, and because why not, a 3-meter painting of the Madonna. Now it wouldn't be easy fitting all that into your carry-on today. It's hard to know if she was planning to open up a museum afterwards, or if these were just, some very special souvenirs. Either way, Mary's daring spirit shone through. Her fieldwork, as we might call it, wasn't always appreciated by everyone. Florence Nightingale herself reportedly respected Mary's compassion, but was less enthusiastic about her methods, and their relationship was complicated. Still, Mary's dedication to the soldiers earned her a loyal following. Many of them came to rely on her for care, comfort, and even a bit of good-humoured company in the worst of times. In this letter, Nightingale reportedly wrote, "I had the greatest difficulty in repelling Mrs. Seacole's advances and in preventing association between her and my nurses, which was absolutely out of the question. Anyone who employs Mrs. Seacole will introduce much kindness, also much drunkenness and improper conduct." Mary Seacole's British Hotel was more than just a building cobbled together from scrap. It was a place of refuge, healing, and humanity amid one of the 19th century's bloodiest conflicts. Whether she was cooking, treating the wounded, or collecting war souvenirs, Mary left a mark that endures to this day. And in doing so, she proved that a legacy isn't built by playing it safe. It's built by answering the call, no matter where it leads. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. A practitioner of traditional herbal... dog walker. Now let's talk about the British hotel at... No. Oh, there's sirens now. There's two. Another dog, cobbled together from scrap. Fuck's sake.